He's just a common man, working hard with his hands. You know, Mike, we are here, episode 1 of the OGs podcast, the OGs.
Yes.
And a lot of people are going to be saying OGs after this. And people are looking at me and they're looking at you and they're saying, well, this is not a surprise. This is just Mike and Carmine. But I say to those people, I say to them, Mike, this is just the beginning. Oh, there's other people. There's other people. The third man. There's even more than the third man. There's a fourth man. And a fifth man.
But it has, but it has to end at fourth, but you're saying there's actually a fifth as well?
There's a fifth man. All the mans are here.
Oh.
And they're waiting. They're waiting backstage. They're chomping at the bit. They're also chomping at some sandwiches, which is why I didn't start the show with them. You know, they're ready to go. I see them. There's the big man from the Sudan. He's got his fork. And we're ready to roll. And I want to start the show. Roy Kolb, what is up? What is up? Before I bring the other hosts on, I'm going to spend the first 15 minutes saying hi to everybody. That's what I do. That's the proper way to run a show. You know, a lot of people do content and they say things and they talk about what's going on in the world, what's going on in the hobby, what's going on in wrestling. Not here. Here we spend the first 15 minutes selling my daughter's tumbler cups and talking about everybody in the chat. That's what we do. We're sponsored today by my shoes, my socks, and my friend Tom. Guys, when you do a podcast, you talk about we're sponsored, you know, these are our sponsors. Sponsors pay you money. They pay you money. Who's paying you money? I want to see the receipts. Show me the receipts.
Well, we're not sponsored by Deer Park Water, but I'm just gonna give a shout out to them anyway. Yes.
You know, it's hilarious. We're sponsored. I'm sponsored by my nephew Jim and his niece Miranda. They're selling tumblers out the back of her cup outside the Piggly Wiggly. You know, guys, before we get started, I want to just see if there's anybody out here who wants to buy this strap I've been trying to sell for about a year and a half. It's a beautiful canvas strap. I got it from JCPenney, $5.99. I'll sell it to you for $5.98. Been trying to sell this same strap. I made it myself, but I could have sold it at JCPenney for $5.99. Anyway, it's going to you guys for $5.98. Been trying to sell this thing. It's a good strap, quality strap, like Newman Ali, quality belts. Can't beat them.
Is it real Carmine leather?
This is real Carmine leather. I marked it myself. It's beautiful. Get yourself this strap. You know, who else can we bring into these shenanigans? All Elite Belts. Folks, we're sponsored by All Elite Belts. They've given us $0 to say that, but I'm going to say sponsored because it sounds like we're bigger than we are. Sponsored by Vinny Carquito, the Big Green King. For all your Big Green King needs, visit Vinny Carquito. Hi, Richard Simpson. Hi, everybody in chat. Bill, Bob, John, Jason, Gianni, Jehoshaphat, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. His name is my name too. Good to see you, John.
Don't forget Big John, Little John, Jimmy John, John, and Jinga John. Don't forget about
Jimmy John sandwiches. You say hi to everybody.
Yes.
We're not going to talk about any wrestling for the first 15 to 20 minutes. I'm just going to say hi to people. In fact, I'm going to take the camera with me. We're going outside. Going to say hi to some people walking down the street. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for joining me. Thanks for walking down the street. I want to bring in a guy you know. You may love him. You may not love him. I don't know. But he's massive, and he can kill you and crush you into a fine powder. He is the Moostodon.
Nostrovia.
Cyrus.
Hello.
There is one guy waiting backstage right now with tears in his eyes, laughing. He'll be next on here.
Wait. Fuck the hobby.
Wait, did you want to buy my strap?
No, fuck the hobby.
Quality strap, right? Look at this. It stretches.
Nope.
Next week, by the way, we're going to have a music video to start the show. It's going to be a beautiful music video. I was talking to my staff about it. Well, actually, when I say my staff, it's like an actual staff that I walk with. I was talking about it with that staff, and we're going to get that done, me and the staff. So who could we surprise people with, Moose? You're a big surprise. We haven't seen you in a dog's age.
You know, I've been here. I've observed, and as always, besides fuck the hobby, I think we need to bring my brother from another mother on
First?
Yo, Isaac.
Because there's a guy in the back that he's chomping at the bit, man. All right, we'll bring him on. We'll bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him. You love him. You may have seen him in the stage production of She's a Jolly Good Fellow. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the twin to the Moose. He is the one, Mike Jones. Me and Mikey Jones.
Kalima.
We got a thing going on. Do.
I have to give a disclaimer.
Yes.
The views of the guy above me are strictly of him and him alone.
Did you want to buy my strap?
No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I have to ask everybody that comes on.
I'm here because it's about wrestling, and I have a passion for that. And that guy right there also has a passion for it. That guy right there has a passion for it. He's just here. He's him.
I have a passion.
He's him. You have a passion for stuff. I don't know if it's always wrestling, though.
I have a passion. I'm sexy and I know it. All right.
See? ADD.
You know what I need?
What do you mean?
Yeah, you got you here, Jones, and you're Mr. Wrestling 2 and Mr. Wrestling 1 next to you, or 1 and 2. I don't know when you switch masks.
It's interchangeable.
And you guys love your wrestling. You love your wrestling. Got Mike Tenay on one side, right? Got Larry Zbyszko on the other, or no, I'm sorry, Gordon Soley on the other. And you guys are going to talk your wrestling, and that's beautiful. I love it. And that's great. Mike's a little bit of a jerk like me, but he also can get down with the wrestling with you guys. I need another asshole here. I need another sarcastic prick. Where can I find one? I searched high and low. I went to the
Carmine. I think he's part of a legion. A possible Legion of Doom?
Ah, yes. Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the only man who knows the lyrics to expose songs more than I do. Ladies and gentlemen, Smokin' Joe Vitanza.
I'm only here so I don't get fined by Jones.
Listen, before we get started, did you want to buy my strap?
I'll pass this time.
Well, I'll have it next week. We'll be showing it next week.
Ask me next week. It may change.
Got a few belts I want to sell. This is one of them. I want to show you guys something. I got this.
Is it a stanky strap though? That's what's important.
I got a little something.
Yes.
I'm going to go full screen for just a second. This is wrestling related, Jones. You're going to love this. Just came in the mail.
Is that the mini?
No, this is the full-size belt. I shrunk it to fit into the palm of my hand.
I don't see what the box for the mini looks like. The hell with you.
And in this box, it's just it. This is just it. I just got the styrofoam.
For all I know, you bought a Backlash vibrator and you're showing it off. I don't know what you're doing.
Isn't it lovely?
Yes.
Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it precious? Less than what? Sing with me, Jones.
Silver and gold.
That's Christmas. That's when we release our Christmas album.
What just happened?
That's when we release our Christmas album. So, guys, let's get to the topic at hand. What's the hot topic today? I'll tell you. You guys can discuss amongst yourselves. Yeah, I say that. I've been saying that for 3 years, bro. Thank you so much. Thank you, Platinum. Good to see you. See, you can say hi while you actually do the show. So apparently, Zoe Stark took the phrase "break a leg" to the extreme.
God, that was horrible.
Took it a little too literally, guys.
She literally called out to. She's like, Kyrie.
Wow. Now, did it? I didn't watch. Did it happen live?
It
Yes. I wish it didn't. I wish
did.
it was during the commercial.
She literally, she comes off the ropes and she's like perfect. And she goes, Kyrie. And
So
then
she
all
was
you hear is a
falling.
thud.
She was falling before she fell. In other words, she knew she was falling.
Oh yeah, she was like, "Oh God, it's happening."
I think she knew as soon as she jumped. Whew, this was farther than I thought.
Yep.
Now, I want to say something. Somebody said to me today, we're on the phone, Mike and I, with a friend of ours, and they said, maybe it's just a bad sprain.
No.
And to me,
No way.
the first thing I thought when I saw it was Sid Vicious.
Yeah.
No, she's
Right, Jones?
It's along the lines. That's the kind of a freak accident that was.
You know what it reminds me of?
Summer is coming. I just wanted to see what it said.
Indy Hartwell's injury in NXT. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
They cut all cameras. They're like, go to break. This is not what we planned.
That's true. In wrestling in the 1960s wouldn't have allowed that, right, Moose?
No, God, no. You would have gotten up, shooken it off, and just like hobbled along.
But that would have never happened because that move would have never happened.
No, because the drop kick was a finisher.
Exactly. Let alone a springboard. Ha!
See, this is not good. Yeah, I mean,
Now,
this
could
is
this be the end of a career?
Yeah, she's probably not going to come back from this. And if she does, it's not going to be a company supported move, because if it's really her leg that she tore the ACL, MCL, and meniscus in again, they'll probably throw her back down in Orlando and just be like, go train. And then they'll just let her train, and then just release.
Let me ask you a question. This brings up the broader point that I've complained about for years. Do they need to get back to wrestling in the ring and stop with the damned spots? You know, I and Joan, Vitanza, you'll appreciate this. Wrestling match, I've always said this, and I actually said this to professional wrestlers, and they appreciate it because they've told me I'm correct. And I think I'm correct because I'm always correct. And so a wrestling match, Joe V, is like a song. You build it, starts slow. You get to your chorus, gets a little hotter, then you slow it back down. Then you get to your chorus, then you slow it back down, and then all the high notes come at the end. The way a wrestling match is built today, they're starting with the high notes. Imagine if you listened to a Whitney Houston song and she was hitting the note at the end of I Will Always Love You, but it was in the first 10 seconds. Where do you go from there?
I can't argue with that, especially with the classic wrestling matches that we grew up on.
Yeah.
But the thing with Zoe is, remember, she's had, I don't want to call them botches, she's had some mishaps in the past. And I think that can contribute to her knee issues. And I think this one was just a nail in the coffin for her probably career.
It looks like a career ender. I mean, it does. It looked like a career ender. I mean, Jones, your thoughts? You're disagreeing.
I don't think this was a situation where the spots need to be back in the ring. Zoe normally hits the springboard drop kick. She just overestimated the distance she was trying to travel. If she'd allowed Kari to get in a closer spot, it may not have been she may not have gotten injured. It was like you're trying to travel a greater distance and the leg just buckled. This was a freak accident. Zoe's normally hits this move flawlessly. So I don't think like her career is not over. Her career as a WWE superstar is, in my opinion. I don't think she'll be. I don't
Where do
think
you think you think she's AEW bound when she comes back?
should be AEW bound probably because they always need more female talents. She she could potentially end up in TNA.
My argument to what you're saying though is, you go back to our youth. I know everybody hates when I go back to the old days. If you miss an arm drag, you'll live to tell that story. But if you miss a move like this, it could end your career, and that's what I'm talking about with the spots.
I understand that. I understand what you're saying, but the thing is, you have to do something to differentiate yourself from everybody else. You don't want to be just another cog in the wheel. You need to do something to stand out.
But if everybody's doing that stuff, then it's not different.
Well, that's one of her trademarks. Usually, it's flush, so it's not. That's a freak accident. That's not normal for her.
But it only takes one time to miss it. It's dangerous. High risk maneuver.
High risk, usually high reward. This time, it wasn't a situation like that.
But that's the thing. It only takes one time. Listen, I'm always going to like 1985, bro. I'm always going to like 1985. It's just me.
Mm-hmm.
It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Apparently, yes.
I mean,
she,
that same past.
She probably thought she could jump about as far as Ray Phoenix.
All right.
Yeah. She was listening to a little Van Halen before the show. Might as well jump. Yeah, no, definitely. Her landing distance played a part in that. Absolutely. Jones is, of course, a professor of wrestling. Moose?
I'm not the professor. I'm the assistant.
I think it's kind of odd that she gets this injury after Shayna and Sonya are released.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a very coincidental occurrence.
Are you saying there's a conspiracy here?
I think it was, I don't want to say calculated, but I think she kind of knew something was going to happen.
Yeah, but you can't fake that landing.
No, God, no.
No. That he's not saying the landing was planned. He was saying that she was trying to do something big to try to show her worth because most of her friends are going around her.
Yeah. The whatever the collective, the
Pure Fusion Collective.
Fusion Collective is gone.
And it sucks when your friends get released because you have to, you do think about Joe Vitanza got released just 5 seconds ago. Look, he's gone.
Wow.
He's been released. You got to do something to impress. I don't do it. We have producers behind the scenes. Apparently, Joe resigned. How were you, Joe? How was that?
Wonderful. I think it's just bad luck with her. I mean, you know how we say when people pass, they come in threes.
Yeah.
I think in wrestling, this is.
I think Joe Vitanza is on that Braun Strowman deal where he gets released and comes back for 3 minutes.
They should have him in the WWE 2K game where he's only available for like 1 month.
Hey, you might give them an idea.
Yeah.
that would be something.
Mike H., you were saying to me that he's part paralyzed or something now.
Yeah, there's I guess he in his one leg he's partially paralyzed, which of course obviously hasn't been helping him for the past few years with his career. But they said they will bring him back from time to time when they have something for him to do.
I mean, how do you wrestle part paralyzed? Well, in fairness, though, I've seen a lot of wrestling podcasts. I have seen a lot of wrestling podcasts where the guys are half comatose when they're there. There's a couple guys that say like 3 words in 2 hours, so it can happen. I guess you don't recognize it.
I mean, we wouldn't have. I mean, as much slack as we have given Braun over the years, to find out that he's half paralyzed. I mean, to be able to wrestle like that, like how who wouldn't? We didn't know that Kerry Von Erich was wrestling with like a prosthetic foot when he was wrestling.
Yep, Steiner did it too.
Yeah.
What? I don't know about that.
Scott Steiner was injured most of his WWE run.
Yeah.
What about my strap?
When he got there in 2002.
Yeah,
But
he wasn't paralyzed, though,
feel
right?
like his right or left leg, and he just.
It's
He
still
said he
messed
shouldn't
up to
even
this
wrestled
day.
on like the
Yeah.
last Nitro, like how bad it was.
So that's
But when
the
he got the
old-
TNA, it healed up because he was able to.
No, I wasn't aware of that when I booked him in between his WCW and WWE stints.
Mhm.
Nobody
Only
knew.
promoter to do it, by the
You
way.
weren't supposed
Nope.
to know.
Nobody knew. He talked about it with CVV a couple months ago.
He
Really?
also talked about it on the Jericho cruise.
So, I mean, that's how do you not notice that as a fan, right? Like, how does the guy keep wrestling like that?
Well,
Because they have the fortitude to go out there and do
That adrenaline.
what they're trained to do.
If I sprain my foot, I'm in bed for 3 days watching TV.
Well, you can also get a
Cortisone shot?
yeah,
Yep.
Or
And some
double
little-
no?
Amongst other things,
Yeah.
And also toward the end there, especially of his WCW run, Steiner wasn't exactly known for his high flying maneuvers anymore either.
Not at
So,
all.
you can just stand there and do power
which-
stuff.
By the way, everybody loves Scott Steiner. I like him as a person. I, had a nice conversation with him. But the thing that always bothered me is I love the Scott Steiner that was high flying and also muscular, like innovative with the moves and the Frankensteiner. And I thought that was the better Scott Steiner. Does anybody disagree? Raise your hand if you like Big Papa Pump better.
I mean, there's a reason why Pat Patterson and Bruce Pritchard wanted to bring in Scott Steiner and win the Rumble '93 and have a main event against Bret Hart at WrestleMania 9.
I want to hear about that, but Jones, go ahead.
you're not going to make me compare the two Scott Steiners.
I am going to make you compare them.
Here's the thing. One of them was much better on the mic. Big Papa Pump was elite on the mic. We got
Yes.
Steiner math as Big Papa Pump. The
It's
other
great.
one was just basically a super green baby face who was just athletic.
But if you had a gun
was
to your head,
boring. That
if
was
you had a
boring.
gun- if you had a gun to your head and they said, you got to watch one of their matches, just the match, forget the promo, you got to watch one of the matches, who you watching?
I watch
Mr.
92
Jones.
Super.
Yes,
It's the
Steiner
same-
versus
it's
Sting
like
and
it's the
Luger.
same thing. It's
Yeah,
the same
92 Super Brawl.
difference.
Yes,
That's
thank
a
you,
great
Bruce. I was
match.
just gonna say that.
Or any of their matches with Doom. The Steiner brothers, they were hard hitting.
Or the Miracle Violence connection.
I was
That was a really good match.
Gordy, yeah. Gordy and Dr. Death. Yep.
Okay.
Or even like a fun match though. What was that? Was that them or was it them versus the Head Shrinkers at WrestleMania 9?
That's a great, such an underrated freaking match.
It felt like a shoot match.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will never forget. I will always say, watch that match for the moment when Head Shrinkers attempted to kill Scott Steiner. During the middle of that match, when he dropped back and he pulled the rope down and he went right to the floor head first. They attempted homicide right there on a WWF pay-per-view.
That was a brutal match.
You know, it's crazy in the WWE 2K25 game, the new one. You replay that match,
Oh,
but
for real?
but the Head Shrinkers go over in that match.
You're controlling the Head Shrinkers. You have to
Yeah.
beat the Steiners. That's not easy.
It's interesting. I buy the WWE game every year. Play it never. Play it never. Buy it every year. Play it never.
You should actually give it away then.
You know what, man? I got turned off to wrestling video games when you had to hit 7 buttons to hit a finishing maneuver.
It's not that complex anymore. It's 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I play a wrestling game now, even still to this day, I just smash buttons. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I don't even try.
This begs the question, then, why do you continue to buy it every year if you have no
Because
intention?
I always say I'm gonna
Yes.
play it.
Yes. The Island of Relevancy is fun to play except for 2 damn matches.
I actually started playing it. I refused at first, but it's actually pretty cool.
Me and Mr. Vegas plays the game almost every week whenever he's home.
Me and Vegas play games every week too, but it's a different kind of game.
Okay, then.
I've played Retromania and I have
Agreed.
enjoyed Retromania.
That's a button masher. That would be better for you.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Why don't you
It's
get like
it's a
WrestleMania
simulator.
for NES?
Ooh, Aldrich Boyer.
Yes.
Yes.
I talk to
Universe mode is
Boyer all the
great.
time.
What up, Joe?
Universe guy. So I mean, listen, if I said to myself tonight, if I said, Self, I'm gonna play 25, I'm gonna learn how to play it, how long would it take me to get the controls and shit down?
They give you a tutorial as soon as you open a game if you want.
I always skip that.
Stop skipping the tutorial if you don't know how to play.
What system do you have for
The
He's
PS5,
a man child. He has all of them.
Yeah, I got all of them. But I only play really only play Switch. But I can play any one of them.
You should probably clean up what you just said.
I only play the Nintendo Switch
There you
really,
go.
but I can play any one of them. Look at Jones getting. Do you want to buy my strap?
Well, listen, there was nothing really there to clean up because either comment is accurate with him.
Oh,
Yeah.
good Borat. Very good.
Well, here we go, folks.
Yes.
Hey, what's coming?
You know, I'll never get over you getting over me, Moose.
I never got over you, Carmine.
Here comes the
Thank
musical
you.
interlude.
Hold me.
Look at the love. Look at the man love. And P. Diddy isn't even involved. It's amazing.
I have
Yeah.
already pre-ordered the Switch 2, but I did it on eBay from a scalper. Because I couldn't get the damn pre-order. It was too late. I'm
All
not
you
gonna
have to
get
download
them.
is one app, and you'll be set with it.
What, to get the pre-order?
Yeah, you don't have to
Oh,
worry.
nobody told me.
You didn't ask the right people.
It only cost me like $200 extra. It's not like a huge deal.
Only.
Yeah.
But it's not-
Oh,
They're gonna send you the
$200.
Nintendo
Oh.
Switch 1 with the letter 2 painted on there.
You're going to slap
No,
my
I'm
iPad
getting-
right on top of it.
I tell you right now, because once I sell this strap, it pays for itself.
Oh my God. He's just-
Quality. Look at that. You can't break this thing. Look at it. It's quality. Anyway, scalpers of the world unite. That's right. I wanted to help another scalper. I wanted to
Well, there you go. You being the biggest scalper of them all. That makes sense.
So let me tell you about Autograph Weekend. I got the WrestleMania spinner signed by Mr. John Felix Anthony Cena, and I got him to sign it, John Felix Anthony Cena, along with his regular signature, and then the 17X champ. Got my golden signed by him. Hopefully going to get it signed by Mr. Rhodes at the Fanatics Fest, which would mean that for a total investment of $1,250, I've got the $4,600 belt they were selling on Fanatics. Got an Aaron Judge baseball bat and Austin Wells baseball bat. And I know that means nothing to nobody here except Jones. Not Jones, but Joey, who actually knows baseball.
I watch baseball.
You don't watch a damn thing. You just watch wrestling.
Baseball's
You know, that's
gay.
gonna suck when Cena loses the belt like in a month and then wins it back and becomes an 18-time champ.
I just go to a different autograph signing and I have him change it.
Wouldn't that be something? Yeah.
Cost me $250 to have him change it to an 8.
I wish he was losing it this weekend.
He won't.
That would be amazing.
It's a non-title match, but that would be the person I would want to beat him.
Could you imagine if R-Truth beat him
That would
and
be
won the
insane.
championship?
It would be
Insane.
Even for
hilarious.
72 hours.
He would lose it,
But it
one day,
would
but
be
it'd
great if he
hilarious.
wins the match.
Mhm.
And well, I was trying to say one more
Well,
thing.
he's going to win the match because it's non-title.
But I'll say this. So I also got, and this is, I think, the prize of my weekend, believe it or not, of all the wrestling stuff I got signed and this and that and all the other, the prize of the weekend, I got a 24x36 Lethal Weapon poster signed by Mel Gibson and Danny Glover at the Fan Expo Philly. Of course, Jones lives right there.
You're too old
Lives
for
it.
this shit.
What happened?
You're too old for this shit.
Yes, indeed.
What is your
I should have had
favorite?
him inscribe that.
What is your favorite Lethal Weapon movie?
Oh, God.
4 for me.
3.
I'm torn between 2 and 3.
Is 4 the one with the Chinese immigrants?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
I will always go with just the first one, just because number one, it was a Christmas movie, no matter what anybody says. Number two, just Mel Gibson, Mel as the Riggs character became, I guess you call it, a lot more civilized as the movies go on. I just love that initial I don't give a shit freaking Riggs, as
But
well.
you add Joe Pesci though, and Chris Rock, and you
Those two dialogue, like when they're pulled over in the
Yes.
car.
yes. The first scene with them.
Hey, I didn't call you any names, you fuckface.
It was just great. And then when Chris Rock's like, he said, "What do you say? Me and your baby, oh baby."
Me and your baby, I'm
And then
having
he's on the
her
left, and
baby.
he's like, "Oh, give him my baby, oh baby." Oh my God, Moose, what's your favorite Lethal Weapon?
Oh God. Number
Lethal Weapon
3.
5.
Yo, that's 5 is coming up, right?
Yeah.
Number 3.
Don't tell me.
Number
I'm
3
just
was a
saying.
big hit in my household.
Why?
It's number 3.
But why? Any
I
particular
think
reason?
it just ties everything together and like brings a cohesion to everything.
But there's parts of each Lethal Weapon movie that make the whole, right? Because who could forget diplomatic immunity?
Yeah. It's just been revoked.
Yeah. You know, who could forget that? That's classic, right?
You know what?
Oh yeah.
Was that? Oh God!
Oh, I'm watching that now.
As soon as I open a freaking cereal shop, you freaking leprechaun.
Jones, what was your favorite one, man?
I said I'm torn between 2 and 3.
Well, I think one of the
We've all said
funniest.
different ones.
I think one of the funniest, best scenes though is in 2 when he goes to the African consulate.
Yes.
That's a good.
You're black.
Yes,
He is right. You are black.
you are. He is. It's like yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
It's like trying to pick your favorite Beverly Hills Cop, except I think everybody can eliminate 3 immediately. But the new Axel F I thought was really great. No, Jones is saying no. You think
can't
1?
eliminate
It's
3.
1 for you, right?
You can't eliminate 3.
You have to eliminate 3. That was horrible.
3 was not horrible.
There's no Taggart,
It was in Wonder World.
dude.
He had the Annihilator.
Even Eddie Murphy hated 3.
3 was fun. Think about it. You're destroying a Disney World essentially.
Jones.
Dude, but basically, he's climbing.
I'm not
the
saying
thing.
it's the best, but it wasn't bad.
No, I've watched it a few times, but he's climbing the thing with the Ferris wheel, and I mean those are the worst special effects I've ever seen.
Fair.
You could tell they're on a sound. I was watching an episode of Friends the other day where they're in a boat, and I'm like, you could tell they're on a soundstage. What? How bad was technology in the '90s? I don't remember it being this bad.
Speaking of Beverly Hills Cop, this is my phone. I'm gonna go to my ringtone.
Is that somebody? Is that somebody by my strap?
Demonetized.
By my strap. Nathan Hardester. So I guess we should do this. Yeah. So for those just tuning in, if we are part of a hobby. If you're tuning into this from another wrestling world, we're part of a hobby where we collect wrestling belts and also canvas belts from JCPenney, $5.99. And we collect these
Penny
belts.
still exists?
I don't know.
Oh.
Which belt do you have? Canvas belt, JCPenney, $5.99. It hold up pants. Remember Miyagi? What's your belt? Okay,
Why
so
was that so appropriate?
huh?
The chime from the iPhone was right on time, which was appropriate.
So, Vinny Carquito asked, did something happen in the hobby about that EJ fella? Heard some stuff, but it's foggy. So,
Who's EJ?
EJ
Not being malicious, I really don't know who he is.
Yeah, no. Well, he was part of a great show in the 80s, EJ and the Bear. But also he's EJ Kelly. He's
Okay.
my understanding is he's now a former moderator at the fake Big Boys belts. You know they're fake because they don't spell boys correctly. And
Oh
yeah.
God, Nick, I'm sorry.
So
What is going on?
Why are we going after Nick?
Who? I'm talking about fake groups in the hobby. They're trying to copy other groups. It's disgusting. It's a scourge, and it has to be stopped. Damn it! But anyway,
Why are we taking our anger out on former hosts?
Was EJ a name on the show Major Dad in the 90s?
I believe he might have been on Major. Listen, I have no issues with this EJ Kelly fellow, but EJ Kelly was a moderator in this group, And apparently, word on the street is that he has borrowed large sums of money from certain people and that he sold belts that he has not delivered. Now, I will tell you the only experience I have with him recently. I purchased a belt from him, had the belt in 2 days. So I can only speak to my experience with the man, which was a positive experience, not negating anybody else's experiences with the man. I keep hearing he's going through some hard times. I don't know. I know he was going through some hard times.
Hot times, Daddy. Hot times.
I will tell you that I purchased a belt from him, and I told him I don't need the belt, but I'll purchase it because he said he was going through some. I'm innocent. What? I can make fun of douchebags. So, anyway,
for a horseman by the name of Ric Flair.
I need some horse.
Hard times, Daddy. Hard times when the textile workers out of work.
Anyway, EJ Kelly. I didn't need the belt. I told him I was going to buy it just to help him out, and I gave it away to somebody, and that's what I did. But he got the belt to me in 2 days. That's all I know. If he's going through hard times, and EJ, if you're watching this, you could have just asked me for money, bro. I would have helped you, and you wouldn't be in this spot. Because I liked you. I didn't block you. You didn't block me. We're still cool. We're still friends. I have no idea what's going on there. So it'd be very hard for me to speak on this. I don't know if anybody else here. But it'd be very hard for me to speak on this because I don't have any experience with what's going on.
Jonesy?
Jones?
I'm going to rewind that and retract what you said. I don't mind people helping people, but don't say it on a public forum so people can start thinking about it, potentially use you.
Oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't do it for other people. Forget it. I'm just saying that I have to know you.
But just think, guys.
That's a good
I'm being
point.
a PR guy here today. So
I'm also retracting that statement. Thank you,
Stop.
Mr. Jones. That's why I have Jones is like the Jiminy Cricket over here, right? And then and so is Moose. They're over here, and then the little devils are Mike and Joe V, and they're over here.
And then all we do is like smack you with a hammer, like stop.
These guys are These guys. Who the hell is texting me?
We're like in Animal House, when he's about to, bang the girl.
Why'd you attack the camera?
Well, I just my comments on that particular situation are much like Carmine. I don't know if this had really happened or not. I've talked to the guy a few times. They've been amicable conversations, and that's it. But that's really all I know. I've heard these rumors as well, but true or not, I don't know.
I spoke to somebody last night, and I spoke to somebody the night before that, who will remain nameless, who told me the story. But like we're all saying here, I think none of us are in that group. I don't know if maybe Jones and Moose are in that group. The rest of us have been relegated to. Well, I left on my own. I know Joe V got kicked out for never saying a word, and he was causing a lot of problems with that.
Shocker.
I intentionally attempted to get kicked out, and I did. So I was
my favorite part was
yes.
Yeah, we kicked out a bunch of guys who didn't say anything. That should solve the problem. But anyway, be that as it may, we're relegated to Siberia over here, so we don't know what's happening. I will say to you that here's what I will say in all honesty, without taking shots and swipes at people. I know. Jones is like, bullshit. He's going to take a shot and a swipe, but I'm not. He was a moderator in a group, right? And in that group, he did his scam. If this is true, and he said as a moderator, people should also pay.
That is true. That is true.
But I got to be honest with you. I, as a capitalist, I agree with that. If you've got a place where a lot of people can sell and they can make money, the group that you've built should get a commission on that. I've been saying that for years. I said that back in the Brothers of the Belt days.
But you don't know what group he may have posted in that group, but he could have sold it in another group, or
But I would say if my group was big enough, and it was a big sales place, I could see that. But Guido will have the scoop. Does he also scam raffles? Asking for from. I have heard of raffle scammers in the hobby. I will say this: he did his scamming in the fake Big Boys Belts group, That's if you want the real big boys belts group, you spell it properly. Just big boys belts, 3 words. We spell boys correctly because it's not 1997. So we don't use the Z anymore, Backstreet Boys. But what I will say is, it's not a reflection if he scammed in that group. It's not a reflection on Nick or Chris or the group as a whole. Anybody can scam at any time in any group. I think if he did scam, considering how important that group was to him being a moderator to him, he must have fallen on really hard times and had been really desperate. And I don't
hard times, Daddy.
Hard times, Daddy. Hard times when the textile workers out of work.
I know, Jones. I got to put a little post-it note here to say stop saying hard times. I think things must have got really tough for him. And listen, you can't scam, you can't rob. But I'm trying not to judge in that position, because when shit hits the fan and you're desperate people do desperate things. That's why you don't see high crime from rich people. You see high crime from poor people, right? So I hope whatever his situation is, he gets it worked out. But I will say, like I said, in defense of Nick and Chris and the fake BBB, that you can't judge the group or the owners of the group because somebody who was connected with the group did something. And so I would hope that people don't pin it on them. They had nothing to do with it. And I will say that, like, being a two-face and talking behind people's backs and all that stuff doesn't make you a scammer. And Nick is not a scammer. Chris would never scam. Those guys are solid. X-Man belts, they've always delivered their product. They've been doing it for years. Their reputation is solid. So, I mean, with that, I just...
One of my favorite belts from X-Man belts.
That's all I'm saying.
Midwestern Championship.
What's that?
One of my favorite belts I ever bought is my Midwestern Championship from X-Man. It's top notch.
Oh yeah, no, X-Men's great. I would, if I were in the market and I needed to purchase a belt and I wanted, if I didn't have the connections I have to just purchase my own, I would absolutely go through them.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a few years back, I bought a ECW World from Chris in perfect, great condition. Loved it.
Yeah, I would buy a belt for them today. I don't have to talk to you to do business with you, right? So I'll do business with anybody. Business is business. I can separate the two things. I don't think my personal issues with somebody and me thinking that they're just not a good person is my personal issues. It has nothing to do with them in the hobby. And if you asked me today, if somebody came to me today and said, I need a reference on Nick and Chris, I would give them, an A+ across the board.
It's true. We actually had a mutual friend of ours who was looking to buy a new belt, and he, talked about going through X-Man belts. So we said, yeah, go for it. You'll be happy with the product.
And that was after our issues with them. So those are personal issues. It's not business.
I've never had an issue with either one of the gentlemen. I've had several conversations with them. I've dealt with them for several belts, and they delivered. And when it was and we went back and forth trying to get the specs right, and the process was painless.
Yeah, no, very professional. Very professional.
Buy from who you wish to buy from. Work with who you wish to work with. There's no belt Illuminati.
Correct.
That's fake news.
That is fake news. I buy, my belts. Honestly, like, I have now mostly American makers that will kayfabe belts for me, so I can get them with the logos. And I got some HD from overseas. Some really great stuff in Pakistan.
We'll have to talk offline then.
Well, yeah, I mean, so this is the thing, right? That's my issue too. My issue has always been. Listen, I'll be honest. Like, my biggest issue is don't be nice to my face and then talk behind my back. Me and Joe Batanza have had issues over the years, believe it or not. I know people may not know this. And it came from, I actually paid Lucy to pull the football. But we have had issues over the years. We always talk man to man, straight up in your face, and that's how men solve issues. But I think that's beautiful. I mean, that's an X-Man.
Yep.
gorgeous belt. I love that. That's gorgeous. Don't give me any ideas. Don't keep showing it because I might.
But you're right, Carmine. I mean, if you have an issue with somebody, message them.
Yeah.
Go in a chat. Just you two talk it out one-on-one. Me and you have done that plenty of times.
Absolutely. Because we're hotheads. I think for me, the hard thing is for me is when you come in my home, or we hang outside, we break bread together, we this and that, and then just to like score points with another group, you trash talk me because they don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, then that's not a friend I need. You know, and so that's just how I feel about it. But that's a personal thing. That's not a don't do business with this guy thing. If somebody, as Mike can attest it, after the issues, somebody came to us and said, "Should I get this belt from X Man?" And we were like, "Absolutely, you should. You'll, can I trust them? Absolutely, you can trust them." And so, and that's the point I'm making here is that if somebody scammed in that group by the name of EJ Kelly, then that is the responsibility of EJ Kelly, not the responsibility of Nick or Chris or X-Man belts who have a stellar reputation. And so that was, and I said this I expressed to somebody last night. I said, I know that Nick and Chris wanted to address it. And I said, they should not even address it because they're then just attaching their names to it. Right. Their reputation is solid. I don't think anybody thinks they were involved in anything. Once they caught wind of it, my understanding is they removed him as a moderator and removed him from the group, which was the right thing to do. And that's it. So I don't think, it's not, I mean, that's a big thing for me. The anonymous posts. There was Richard Simpson was a victim of anonymous posts. Our friend Matt Panetta was anonymous posts. And to me, that's so cowardly. It's so cowardly.
It's not was. He's still being attacked by anonymous.
It still is. And we know who they are, right? I'll unanonymize them. It's Tyler Dove is one of them. I believe Nick is absolutely one of the fake accounts. If not, he just really enjoys it. We know who's responsible for it. Yeah, absolutely. Man to man. So, when you go after people, and when you come to me and Mike, by the way, and say, help me go after Richard Simpson, because that happened. We want you, basically, they wanted us to be a hitman on Richard Simpson, and we were like, no. And then they got mad at us again. They also got the whole reason they got mad at us to begin with was we wouldn't attack Matt Panetta. And so my issue with that is, look, we got together to get rid of this one person who I'm not going to name. And we successfully got rid of that guy. Absolutely, they can see who it is. They know exactly who it is. And he ratted out some of the people to me. So I know who they are. Yeah. So to me, be a man, put your name to it. Anonymous post shouldn't even be a thing in this hobby. If you got something to say it like a man. Stop making fake profiles. Stop being, that's fucking cowardly, Tyler. It's cowardly. You're a coward. You're a bitch. Stop being a bitch. Be a man. Say what you got to say. And, so they came to us and they wanted us to go after Richard Simpson. And I was like, no. And Mike was like, no, we're not doing it. We don't know. We only know your version of the facts. And then nobody else talked about it because me and Mike didn't play the Bulldogs. We didn't play the Pitbulls. We didn't go after him. And Richard's a friend of mine. Richard's, best restoner in the game as far as I'm concerned. And so I think my thing is we got together to get rid of this one guy, and we did because he was a bad guy. And then it was like, well, let's get a new target. And it's just become, the people sometimes that say, let's not have drama, let's not have bullying, are causing a lot of the drama and the bullying and causing all of it. Really, all roads lead back to a group of like 5 or 6 or 7 people, and they're toxic to the hobby. And so what Moose hates the hobby. I'm sorry, Jones. I don't mean.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say.
No. Hold on. So let me explain my stance as fuck the hobby. I love belts. I love wrestling. Wrestling is my life. But when people put it on a pedestal and make it more than real life and make it more than what it should be and call it the hobby motherfuckers, it's not the hobby.
It's a hobby.
It's a hobby. It's a collection.
Yeah, no, and I'm just my stance on it is, and years ago I was guilty of the bullying and this and that. Is stop the bullying. Stop talking shit on Jason Presley because he's trying to be creative and do some creative things. By the way, Jason, Mike and I were talking, and remember those we wanted to buy those 2 things from you. You never gave me a price or a place to send the money. I still want to purchase those 2 things. So, but I mean, Jason's doing real creative shit, and I think it's really cool. And Richard, of course, is super creative, and I think it's really cool. And X-Man Belts does great business, and I think that's really cool. And let's focus on that shit and stop getting in a group chat all day and just talking about how much you hate certain people. That's a miserable fucking way to live. We don't do that. We don't do. Mike and I, like, I can assure you, I can promise you, like, unless somebody tells us you said some shit about us, Mike and I talk about you never. You're never on our minds unless we're talking about belts, right? So unless you're talking about the belt hobby and somebody said this and that about you. And so, yeah, I mean, just be kinder to people. That's it. There's no reason to not be kind to people. Yeah, I mean, but Richard Simpson said as a gimmick that he had a $10,000 belt, and people believed it was actually a $10,000 belt. Like, they believed the hype. Yeah, sure, no, and I
will look in the mirror too. But here's the thing. I will
needle poke. Absolutely, I will needle poke.
So here's the thing. For a long time, I remember I used to fight back against Moose with that whole "fuck the hobby" thing, and then I realized he's right. Fuck the hobby. Yeah, I realized a couple of years ago he's absolutely right. Fuck the hobby.
You couldn't, Vinny. I would let you in our group chat, but we talk a lot of pro-Republican stuff. It would drive you fucking crazy.
And my fuck the hobby thing is from literally years of being a part of BAM, and no disrespect to BAM in the past and the host and the people that made it what it is, but I literally could not give 2 shits.
I agree.
What people or anybody else thinks when it comes to belt collecting. Because at the end of the day, it's literally your choice to spend your money. It's your choice to be a part of something. And at the end of the day, if I think this, my Midwestern Championship was taken after the South
or this.
The Southwestern Heavyweight Championship, or is called in JCP. I don't even know, but this belt means so much to me because it represents what I grew up on, which is Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois wrestling.
Now, interestingly enough, when you grew up on that, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and what was the other one?
Ohio.
There was only 3 Italians in all those states, 4 black people, the whole thing.
Yeah.
7 of us. There was 7 of us.
But you know what? This belt means so much to me, and I don't give a shit.
I just want to I gotta ask Mr. Jones one question because I'm loving his reactions and stuff. I'm like, it's Carmine. What did you expect? Did you expect anything different?
A lot of people don't know that there was 7 of us at the time. We were, and in fact, Green Book was actually written about me and Jones. A lot of people don't know that. If you watch it though,
I sold my collection, so I have nothing to worry about.
Did you?
Yeah, I only have 4 belts.
Well, that's how you still have it, right?
Yeah, but I sold my. I mean, once I was done with my collection, it was like,
yeah.
What now?
Simpson, you're making these for me, right? I put my order in like 17 months ago.
You know what? I'll say this:
Daniel side plates.
Daniel Toney makes some nice belt hangers too, as well.
Yes,
and
absolutely,
stands.
Absolutely. There's a lot of creative people in this hobby doing a lot of creative stuff, right? So let's talk about that stuff, right?
And that's the whole point. Is like you can find a niche in this hobby for what you want.
Yeah, I mean, being somebody in the hobby doesn't actually mean anything anyway. What is that? What's that going to get you in life?
About to say,
But I will say this is like what we did here tonight, like at the end here, you know, in the little shots and stuff like that. I told the guys I was going to do. I told them I didn't know what I was going to do. I said that, and I told somebody last night that I talked to, like, well, what are you going to say? I don't know. I don't know till the camera goes on. I don't know. Even when in my day job, I don't put a script in front of me. A lot of people have a teleprompter. I don't. I just talk. It's how I am. The camera goes on, I become Carmine. So it is what it is. This will be the last time that we do this on this show. This will be a show focused on wrestling, belts, action figures, collectibles. We're not going to do this. So to my co-host, I hope I didn't upset you.
No, I just have something to say when you're done.
Although I do sometimes, maybe I will do a shot here and there just to get the reaction from Jones because it's hilarious. But yeah, you know, and I will, until I sell this, somebody's got to buy this canvas belt from me. All right. Otherwise, I will try to sell it every week. But who cares what anyone's opinion on you is, even more so where people collect wrestling belts. Get over yourselves. There's a lot of world out there. I agree. And I think this is advice that should be taken by a lot of people. And so I won't do this. I'm not going to do this anymore because that's not what this show is going to be about. This show is going to be about the fun stuff and you know, the cool things and Jones actually cutting his hair and making wigs for me in my Colin check. So it's going to be.
Funny thing is, I was actually thinking about cutting my hair the other day.
Are you? No, don't. See, I hate when people with have hair cut their hair.
I would still have hair. It just wouldn't be as
fortunate. You're fortunate enough to have hair. You should grow. And Batanza, of course. I think he's a brother of the scalp. And so this show's going to be about having a lot of fun and joking around. He's still got hair.
Oh, I'm about to talk about people, so it's not about to be about fun.
What happened?
I'm about to talk about people when you're done.
Oh, please go ahead.
Shit.
Because
That's what I was doing.
Oh, I thought you were pointing to a comment.
There's been a lot of people that was, I would like to say, fake fans now, because for as long as everyone's known me, I've been a TNA guy. I've worn that flag forever. It's a lot of fuckers out there with this belt right now that don't understand what it really means. Like, don't get it now because it's cool to like TNA. Fuck you. You should have been there a long time ago. We could have been higher rated at this point. But
What's
no,
you all part of the company?
I might as well. I am Mr. TNA. So it's like, no, don't come in now saying, yeah, I like TNA because it's on NXT. No, you should have liked it before then. It was wrestling.
You should have liked it when it was weekly pay-per-views every Wednesday.
Exactly. I paid my $9.99 weekly to watch it.
I had free.
Oh, you were the guy?
Yes.
I had free pay-per-view, so I had illegal cable.
This is my favorite. This is Jones's favorite belt in my collection, the MLW, right here.
I have beef with them now, so not anymore.
Oh. Yo, I'll say this, Jones. Whether you like TNA or not, you gotta tip your cap to the belts. Dude, their belts are among the best, if not the best, in the entire wrestling world right now.
Arguably. Like
my boy he actually owns a ring used digital championship that he refuses to sell me.
Yeah, I wouldn't because the belt's retired.
Yeah, but I want it.
I tip my hat to them to be able to survive 23 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is not a shot at AEW, but be around that long and then we can talk.
Yo, are you
tip
excited?
my hat to Scott D'Amore for breaking it back.
By the way,
I tip
my hat to Scott D'Amore, who made a massive donation to the Sabu fundraiser. Scott's a great guy. I haven't talked to him in a few years, but he's a great guy. Always has been a great guy. Genius wrestling mind.
I'm curious to see what he's going to do.
You know, we haven't been on since then, but I had the honor of working with Sabu, had the honor of knowing Sabu, had the honor of talking to Sabu. In our first conversation ever, you know, in later years, I could call him Terry. In our first conversation ever, he would not respond to Terry. You had to call him Sabu.
He'd probably punch you in the mouth if you called him.
Hogan saved the company, Jones. Since Hogan saved it, he did too. Hogan saved that company.
Hogan tried to kill the company by putting it on Monday nights against Raw. That was the biggest mistake ever.
He squared the ring, though. He squared the ring, which was
I'm not upset about him getting rid of the 6-sided ring. There was some people that had difference of opinions. Don't count that out yet. Remember, we were supposed to technically link up anyway. So we'll talk.
So, but Jones was there when him and Moose were the only two guys watching. And listen, I think TNA. Look, Simon Diamond. I don't know how many of you guys know Simon Diamond.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, was a really good friend of mine.
Him and Johnny Swinger, right? We're a tag team.
Absolutely. I haven't talked to him in a few years. We're friends on Facebook, but I should reach out to him. But he was a very close friend of mine at the time, and I still couldn't bring myself to tune in and watch TNA. I just couldn't do it.
I watched faithfully until Hogan arrived.
I actually gave TNA.
Why would you watch until things got better and then stop watching?
If things had gotten better, I would continue. That was like when Hogan arrived, Homicide almost killed himself, hanging from the top of a cage.
You know, I was just going to bring up. I remember the first time I ever watched TNA was that first night when Hogan and Flair and them were coming in, and Bret Hart was on Raw, and I watched it. And I watched that cage match. I watched it climb up to that top part where the hole was, and he couldn't get out. And then they went to commercial. Yeah. And then when they came back for commercial, he won the match. The match was over.
Well, then Jeff Hardy came out, and then he's sitting on top of the cage.
How did they fuck that up?
Well, it just
timing.
That was a crazy concept, but the hole should have been bigger. Hami's not that big of a guy. Like, he's not fat. So, like, oh, yeah, I got to point this out. I'm going to be taping it. I'm not going to be watching it live, but my boy is on Dark Side of the Ring tonight. Chris Ford, a.k.a. The Crowbar. He is one of my best friends in the whole world. We talk every single day, and I love him. And I want to promote that because he's going to be on tonight.
For Daphne.
But the Daphne episode is on tonight. So Chris is timeless. Crowbar is timeless. He is still doing it.
You mean Devin Storm?
I'm about to say,
Devin
I know him as
Storm.
Devin Storm.
I remember him.
Devin Storm. He would always be Devin Storm to me.
So the first time I ever saw Chris, he was 17 years old. I was around 17 years old. And there was a independent wrestling show in my high school, and I was heckling him. I didn't know him. I was heckling him, and I was like, "You're a Sabu wannabe," and I'm heckling him. And speaking of Sabu, may he rest in peace. And because he was a heel on the show, he was a heel, and then I booked him on when I started running shows, and just over the years, and we've just, God, he's like a brother to me. Like we've gotten so close. And I would talk to him, of course, during his days in WCW and stuff. But, it was harder because he was busy. And now he runs a very successful physical therapy business. That's what he did with his, they used to make fun of him. Oh, he's always got his nose in a book. He's always reading a book. He's always studying. And guess what? A lot of those guys are wrestling for $500 on a weekend. And this guy's a multimillionaire. So, Hernandez, good to see you, man.
I mean, look at Sean Stasiak. Isn't he like a chiropractor now?
Seen some of this guy's work, by the way.
Yes, motivational speaker.
Okay,
this guy does some great work as well. Does some great work as well. I've seen some of his work. So I'm really interested in seeing Chris tonight, and I've spoken with him, obviously, at length about the Daphne stuff, and I'm not going to say anything because I don't know what he's going to reveal tonight and what he's not. I haven't seen a preview, and I haven't talked to him about it. Actually, we texted a little bit this morning, and the reason I mentioned it is he just texted me right now. We texted about it a little bit this morning, but I don't know what he's going to say tonight. It was deeply personal for him. Obviously, they were friends. They were pretty good friends, and everybody I've known her, including Chris, have just said glowing things about the human being that she was. And I've never actually heard a negative word about her ever before or after her passing. It's so sad that something was bothering her so much that it came to that. And I can liken it to how I felt when Ashley Massaro, who was a dear friend of mine, decided that was the only path, and it hurt me so much. Even I can't even think about it right now. Like, think about her daughter, and I know that she was in constant physical pain, and like 24/7 nonstop physical pain. And it must have seemed like the only way out for her. Daphne, I think, from what I can understand, was in 24/7 mental pain, and that's sad. So tying it all back together, when you're bullying people and crapping on people in the hobby, you don't know what somebody's going through in their lives. I'm straight. My life is, I'm a happy guy. Mike's a happy guy. Moose is miserable all the time. Joey's a happy guy.
I'm not miserable.
And Jones hates everybody that doesn't watch TNA. But you don't know what's going on in people's lives. So just be nice to people. Or be nice to people, or don't talk about people at all if you can't be nice about it. Like, unless somebody's actually done something to you, it's a sad way to live your life to be hating on people.
You never sent me that AWA tag. Damn you, Carmine.
Did I not really?
No.
You know what? I'll buy you an AW tag.
Okay.
Check on your strong friends. There's a lot of stories that are never told that you don't know what someone's going through. So you know, no moment's promised. So make the most of everything you got. This is not trying to be all preachy and stuff like that. However, this is real. This is life. Unfortunately, maybe if someone would have gotten to one of them, you could have been that friend to stop them from getting to that moment. So make the most every moment you got with people, because nothing's promised.
You don't know what they're going through mentally, and it's sad. And we don't know if Joe V's going to be here next week. He's deeply involved in the Diddy Freakoff trial.
Yep.
So he's
countersuing Johnson and Johnson.
He was the baby oil salesman. A lot of people don't know that.
I want to say this about Daphne, because my memories of her was in WCW with Crowbar and David Flair.
Sure.
But when she was in TNA, my favorite memory was this, because of her portraying Sarah Palin, because it looked nothing like Daphne.
Yeah.
Like, when you saw, you're like, that doesn't look like Daphne. Like the Daphne you knew from wrestling. So.
Yeah, no, she was hilarious. Well, she wasn't a wrestler. She was an actress, who just basically auditioned to get a part, and just crushed it. Super talented. So watch that tonight, guys. It's going to be good. I'm going to DVR it. And I guess we're done for tonight, guys, right?
Sure.
Sounds good.
Cutting it tight. We will be back here, God willing, next Tuesday, 8 p.m. And I promise there'll be a lot less me being mean. I think I'm done with the mean.
We know better.
We'll hold them to that, and we'll start charging him for every time he is. So there'll be a counter.
Like $1.
There'll be a tally being kept.
There's going to be a counter, but
I could pay that shit all day long.
I mean, there's going to be a counter to this.
Why do I even try?
What are we going to do with the money? But see, he's like the Jiminy Cricket. He's the good guy. He's over here. But then Jones is over here, and then Moose is over here, and then Mike is over here, and this side weighs a lot more because Jones and Moose are giants. But that would be you guys would have been a hell of a tag team.
Yeah.
They were Fire and Ice in WCW.
Exactly. My dad's Scott Norton. His dad is Ice Train. Come on.
It happened.
I actually just came up with this idea. No, right now, if you two guys were a tag team, what you needed was a female redheaded manager. We could have called you Neapolitan. Chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry together. Would have been perfect. Think about it.
This is the bastard who won't sell me his ring used TNA. I'm just
I already
saying.
knew who you were talking about. There's only one man in there who has those.
I can guarantee Keith goes to TNA shows, goes up to like an official, pulls out like a wad of cash, like, What's it gonna take, man?
Because I can honestly say I received a similar offer for those.
Well, how come nobody gave me an offer?
You got to talk to the right people. I could have pointed you in. You're not talking to the right people. If it's TNA, why wouldn't you come to me?
It's true.
I didn't know they were available.
It's TNA. Why wouldn't you come to me?
I'm sorry, man. Yeah, he does. He does have a nice collection.
Very nice.
Shall
Can
I
you
wrap it up?
imagine this? I want to throw out a scenario for you guys. WrestleMania weekend, Superstore. Imagine if they had some of the old school ring used belts for sale there, like you could buy.
Oh my God!
That's
Could you imagine the money they would get?
Mm-mm. I'm not even putting myself in that kind of
No, you're talking minimum
stress and depression.
Nah, because they'd have to go to Conrad, and Conrad ain't
Exactly.
selling.
That's true. Conrad will
17
probably buy them
Big
all.
Eagle, WrestleMania 3 IC belt. I don't know, like the demolition tags. I mean, he's
got the crumb rhyme, so.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 17 Big Eagle. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has the TNA Wildcat.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm just sitting here with my classic shield. I'm sorry. That rubs some people wrong.
Very nice. Yeah, no, I got my classic shields, and I got my Alianis, and my Azam, and my Ron Edwardsons, and my, I got them all. I don't have a Reggie yet, but
you can afford to not be bullied into buying from one of the makers. Do not try to, unfortunately, no pun intended, keep up with the Joneses.
yes. One of my favorite places to buy from right now, honestly, is Shop. They've just done such great work and improved so much over the years. And I think I'm most impressed right now with the AEW V3 from that shop, which I have somebody releathering right now. I don't know if I can actually say who's releathering it.
Did they?
I don't want to get them in trouble.
Selling the side plate shutters are still not a thing.
Well, but I have side plates for it.
No, I'm asking, did they officially start selling the side plates on the shop yet?
No, but I can get you a hookup. I can get you a hookup. You just got a kayfabe. But
Kayfabe's not dead.
Yeah, I know somebody who makes them. In fact, I might have to actually be the one to buy them.
Got a guy.
He's got a guy.
Yeah, but so Mike got this too. The official one is so light. I just mailed mine out, and mine is the original. I'll tell you guys this story real quick, and then we'll wrap up. Mine is the original one, the original Rocky Stallone shop, and I have it signed by Stallone. I have it signed by Dolph Lundgren. It never got signed by Carl Weathers. I just sent it off to get signed by Mr. T. I want to tell you, Mr. T signing is so rare. It cost almost $700 for him to sign this belt.
Ooh.
But he doesn't sign.
Yeah.
And so I said to Mike this morning, I'm like, we should get an action figure for him to sign too, right? Because it's such a rare thing. And Mike was like, yeah, you really should. And so I did. And that's much cheaper, by the way, to have him sign that.
Which
Yeah,
Rocky belt
yes.
from the Stallone
Yes.
shop, the original or the new one, is better? I wonder.
I don't know. I haven't seen the new one. The
I
new
have,
one is just pictures of Stallone, though.
yeah, the new one is basically the same belt, except now they just replaced the boxer pictures with pictures of Stallone. And for whatever particular reason,
My guess would be to not have to pay Lundgren and Weathers and T.
but here's the thing I don't understand. Okay, so you have a picture of Rocky from the end of Rocky 4, one place with the flag. Okay, that's fine. You have him from Rocky 3, when you see, the pose, basically from the poster. Okay, that's fine. You have him from Rocky 2 at the end when he's holding up the belt. Okay. Rocky 1, what did they decide to do? They have him in his freaking street clothes with the fedora on. And
That doesn't make sense.
stuff. It's like, what the frick? Why would you not have to shot him at the end? Adrian!
They should have had him from Rocky 5 at the end, in the street clothes when he's fighting
is.
Tommy Gunn.
It is stacked. So I have pictures of it. I took a picture of it the other day, but I'll send you pictures back when I get it back from T, which should be in June.
Well, the new one isn't stacked. The plates are not stacked. If the old one is stacked.
Yeah, the old one is.
No, this is just one piece. I mean, it has the 3D parts on, but it's not stacked. It's like all one piece. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So when I bought this, it was already signed by Stallone and Lundgren. Man, I wish it was signed by Weathers. But I mean, with T's signature on it, Stallone and Lundgren, it goes for like $10,000. So it was still worth the signature because T is so rare. He does not do signings. No. Now, my luck, he'll do 20 signings this year. But listen, the price he charges for an autograph, I can't imagine he does. He's going to do a lot of them, right? He's expensive. He was more than Mel Gibson and Danny Glover combined. So, yeah.
For $275, it ain't bad.
No, $275 for an action figure.
Oh no, I was talking about the Rocky Legacy belt.
Oh no, it's great. It's a great belt for that price.
You know what? If you give me a second, I'll be right back. I'll bring it. I have it right over there. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. So we can show that. That's in the show. I'll be right back.
Yeah, right. That's why I said I was like authentication sticker, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Kevin Costner's doing a signing in at the fan. What is it? The Fanatics. Mm-hmm. That's a rare signing. So yeah, a lot of guys that haven't done signings before are doing them. But the Rocky, that's what Mike said when he bought it. He's like, for the price, you can't go wrong, right? Like, it's so inexpensive. And it's not a beautiful belt. The Rocky belt was never a beautiful belt, right? But
Rocky sucks.
Fuck you. I'll kill you.
Who said Rocky sucks? What?
Because if you look in Rocky 5, when Union King holds up the belt, it has no side plates
at all. It wasn't a beautiful belt. It's just such nostalgia for us. Yes.
So, put me on. So here's the new Legacy one from the shop, from the Stallone shop, as you can see. Definitely not stacked. It's just all one piece.
It's definitely thinner than mine. Yeah.
But again, this is what kills me right here. Why the hell would you put a picture of Stallone on the street when you have, oh look, boxing with the title, oh look, the poster, boxing wrestling from Rocky 3, oh look, the end of Rocky 4, but then you put this on there? What the hell is that about? I don't know. But
it really doesn't make sense.
It doesn't know. But I mean, for the price,
interchangeable.
Not on this one. On the first version, I heard it was on
Carquito has this one
on the 1976 limited one. I heard it was, but this one I don't see like anywhere where you can. Like I heard you could just like go in there and like pull them out, but there's nothing I see that allows you to do that for this one.
Which actually I have a sign on my pants that says that. And with that, guys, thank you for joining us on the first episode of the OGs podcast. We'll be back with you next week when Jones will answer that immortal question. How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
He showed me that at SummerSlam.
The world may never know. So, for the Moostodon, Mark Cyrus, Mikey, me and Mikey Jones, Joe, Expose fan number 1V, and Mike, don't touch my shillelagh Hollandcheck. I am Carmine Sabia.
I did it.
You did it. We love you guys. God bless you. Take care, everybody.